Subscribe to Jimmy dragmotoxboss. My goal is 1.75k subscribers by 2024. If I have 1.75k subscribers, I will do the quote-unquote Real Dang Tutorial 3 alternate ending. Okay, today I think it's time to spend a little bit of time focusing on stocking up on the where'd it go? There it is. On the book present. I don't have very many on this base, so it's time I actually get a bunch. Okay. In fact, I don't have many items on this base. I've been focusing on stocking up on my other account. So, I gotta spend some more time and, stock up on this base. I don't really have that many video ideas anymore. If you guys have video ideas, comment them, please. I appreciate it. But anyways, so the video idea for this video is I'm gonna be talking about just mindsets and stuff when it comes to getting a new crush. All right, now I'll tell you one thing right here. Even as someone as smart as me still acted like a complete moron simp. I was trying to say like a third word there. I don't know. I acted like a complete simp, like a complete pathetic loser like 2 years ago. I wasn't the brightest in 10th grade, I do have to say. Like, I was all right, but, like, I don't know. I feel like I was growing a lot that year. So, Same thing, even earlier this year, I wasn't even that good either. Well, more like around a year ago. And then, over this year, I've, like, matured more. I've learned more life lessons and stuff. And now I'm just going to convey them back to you. And, I'm glad that, like, I never really say anything in my life lessons that I think are false. Or, well, not think are false. That could be false. I always make sure the life lessons I teach are basic common knowledge, and I just make sure that, it's information that pretty much everyone can agree on. And even if it's not that everyone can agree on, just information that I know deep down inside that is really true when it comes to these types of things, okay? A life lesson I believe that I should be teaching is, and I could always go back and private the videos if they're wrong, but I'm deeply sure that this one is good advice, and this one is correct here. Dealing with crushes, okay? Dealing with a new crush. Can you crush on multiple people at once? Yes. It's all right if it's just a crush. You can crush on multiple people for once. Can you talk to multiple girls at once before you step into a relationship? Debatable. Very debatable. All right. Me personally, I think you should just focus on a girl at a time. But maybe, I don't know, talk to multiple girls as long as you're not committing to one of them yet. But when you commit to one, stay to that one. But in my opinion, I think you should really only talk to one girl at a time. A lot of people would disagree with this, okay? But that's just my standards, okay? Now, when you form a new crush on someone, at first, it's just like you don't really have a crush on them. And then you're like, do I have a crush on them? And then over time, it grows and grows. And then you definitely know that you do have a crush on that person, all right? Now, what can normally trigger crushes? Sometimes it's natural where you just, like, you see a pretty girl and then you just start crushing on her naturally. Sometimes, it's a thing of, like, something someone says and then that causes you to start crushing on them. Sometimes, you might think, oh, maybe this girl is into me, and that will cause you to crush on them, all right? There's a whole bunch of different things that can cause this. And when you start crushing on someone, it is very easy, especially if you're inexperienced, it is very easy, well, at least for the younger people, it's very easy to have them occupy your mind all the time and naturally start thinking, like, I wonder what my life would be with them. I wonder, if we're going to have any kids. I wonder if, like, when we're going to get married or something. Like, your brain naturally does that, all right? And I'm not going to deny it here. That's just what naturally happens. I mean, it's what dare I say this on YouTube here, it's what naturally happened with me, and I couldn't really control it because it was like a new feeling back in the day, and I was just, excited, If that weirds out any girls that, that I've had a crush on you, so be it. I don't really give a crap, Like, none of my past rejectors are in my current life, and none of them serve a role of importance, all right, in my life. So I don't really care. And even if it did happen, I just wouldn't care. I know that I was, less advanced back then, and, everyone grows, But, anyways, so the best thing you can do is when you get a new crush, you'll naturally think about them sometimes. But the best course of action that you can do is not jump to conclusions. Don't constantly think about them. Focus on what's in your life now, who you speak to. Yes, your brain will naturally wander off to what's it going to be like with this person. That does naturally happen. But you need to learn to control your mind and say, hey, I'm not even with this person. I don't even know if they like me. They might not even like me in the first place. I need to stop jumping to conclusions. I need to stop, imagining them in my life. I need to stop this. I need to get a grip of myself and just act natural, Like, okay, maybe, you do have a crush on someone. Sometimes you'll think about them a little bit. But for the most part, focus on what is in your life. Focus on what you have. Don't focus on what you could have. I still do have a difficulty doing that, like, in other aspects of my life. All right, I'm not going to dive into that, but it's just a psychological thing that I'm trying to work on. But in terms of, like, a crush, I think I'm pretty well set on that, A couple of years ago, even a year ago, it used to occupy my brain. I used to, like, rely on the person liking me back, and then, like, when I would get rejected, it would be like a big wave of disappointment, all right? Another thing you need to practice is assume that they don't like you, but assume that they might like you a little bit. Assume that there's a spark. If you fully assume that they don't like you, then you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere, and you can miss an opportunity. You never know if you don't try. But at the same time, don't rely on them liking you. Don't rely on that at all. Pretend they probably don't like you. You're, trying to shoot your shot. Maybe you'll make it. Maybe you won't. The best you can do is, take care of yourself, Get a haircut at an appropriate time. I hope my mom's not watching that video, but me and her have different opinions on my freaking hair nowadays, all right? I do want to say one thing right here. I do understand that it is going to be really difficult to follow my advice in this video. And if you don't, that's all right. You'll learn sooner or later, and your brain will naturally, over time, become better with these sorts of things. You'll realize, don't depend on them liking you. Just hope, maybe something can happen, but don't rely on it. And even if the girl or the guy is showing signs of them liking you, that might not always be the case, that they actually like you, Who knows? They might not even like you in the first place. They might not, have a crush on you back. And that's okay. That's okay. It happens. Do not let you constantly being rejected mess with your head either, okay? Don't let it mess with your head. I used to let it mess with my head, naturally, because I was like, all these people around me are getting in relationships, and I'm not even in one. I always keep getting rejected. Well, for one, I wasn't really the best at talking to girls anyway, so, there's that. I always would be the one the first text all the freaking time. Don't be the one to always first text. If you are the one to always first text, then it has to be about okay. Forget I said that. I don't want to confuse you. I'll talk about that in a couple seconds, okay? But if you're constantly saying, hey, how's your day? Hey, what's going on? No. don't be the one to always first text. If you have questions for them, like, do we have an assignment in school tomorrow? And you're always the first to text about that. Like, if it's about important stuff, like, are there going to be presents in Lumber Tycoon 2 if they play Lumber Tycoon 2? Do we have a science class? Do we have a quiz in science class tomorrow? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine to text first if it's actually something really important that a normal person would ask another person about. But if it's just like just friendly conversation starters and you always start a conversation, don't do that. You could come off as, really needy. Maybe you don't. But regardless, it's not going to get you anywhere if you're always the one first initiating everything. I feel like in this society, us guys, assume that we have to be the one to always initiate everything. Yes, but the other person has to put in effort for the relationship too. I believe that there is a 60 to 40% ratio. And that's not the only thing that I think there should be a 60 to 40% ratio on. You go VR, if you're watching this video, you know what the hell I'm talking about, all right? But that, I believe that there's a 60 and 40% ratio there should be, right? But also I believe that in a relationship, the one who's masculine, which is generally the guy, and the one who's feminine, which is generally a woman, the guy should put in 60% of the effort, the woman should put in 40%. The guy should put in slightly more because he's the masculine one. Or if the woman's the masculine one, or if it's lesbians and one of them is masculine, or if it's gay men and one of them is masculine, the one of them takes charge more. Whichever one takes charge more, whichever one has more masculinity, or maybe they're both equally as masculine or equally as feminine, and it's 50-50. Then that's a completely fine situation too. You never know people's brains nowadays. It's just like, yeah. But with a standard relationship with two straight people, the man is typically going to be the masculine one, and the woman is typically going to be the feminine one. I forgot I have to back up with these. So men put in 60% of work. Women put in 40% of work. Generally. Average, okay? This doesn't apply to everyone. I'm going to make a part 2 on this. Next stock up season video, I'll talk more about this interesting subject. Get ready.